When I began trading last century, which is a very, very, very long time ago, getting information was a profoundly difficult thing to do. Getting closing prices overnight was extraordinarily difficult. Getting the close of the Dow, price of the dollar, price of gold was at times almost impossible, simply because that's the way the world worked. You have to remember, this is back in the day when to make a fax call or receive data, you actually had to plug the phone into a coupler, and it made that wonderful, horrible, screechy noise that only people of a certain generation will understand. Times have changed. I'm now sitting here in West London, which, to use the popular vernacular, is a friggin' horrible suburb. London's full of beautiful places. This is one that could be used as a testing bed for nuclear weapons, just to clean it up. And I'm in this Novotel hotel that looks like it was designed by an architect with a brain injury and no sense of colour or taste. But while sitting here, I can get any world market I want on this little toy. And I can get it in glorious real time, in glorious colour. I can call up my charts. I can use it to call up workspaces that I have at home. I can do anything I want with it. This presents me with a problem though. And the problem is a uniquely human one. We are prone to distraction. We're not very good at focused attention. And this little bastard of a thing distracts people. One of the most irritating things about London, and there's quite a few, the traffic being one of them, is that you will be walking down a street and all of a sudden the person in front of you will just stop dead. And they've stopped dead to look at their phone. I would struggle to live in a city like this because my most used phrase would be, "What the fuck are you doing?" And this is the problem with the phone, and this is the problem for traders. Traders are now prone to information overload because trading is an information management profession. What you have to do is carefully curate the information you want. Our new devices make that very, very difficult because they flood you with information. Most of it is irrelevant and most of it's nonsense. And the hard part is deciding what is useful and what is not. I opt for a very, very simple maxim. And it is this: news is rubbish. News has always been rubbish and always will be. News is simply someone's narrative. More often than not, it is incorrect. The same is true of stock market research. That's someone's narrative. What people attempt to convince you is that somehow they've got a magical gift from the gods that enables them to predict the future and that their story tells the future. No, they've just made up a story. Price is the ultimate voting machine. It decides where it will go and it decides on the veracity of everyone's opinion. So the lesson for new traders, the lesson for even experienced traders, is to experiment with the notion of isolation, to cut yourself off from noise and extraneous gibberish and begin to rely upon your own mechanism, your own system, and take that as gospel. Because your system is the way you see the world, and your worldview is the only one that counts. Mine's an irrelevancy too. Louise's an irrelevancy. Anything you read on a blog is an irrelevancy. That's just my story. My story might hold no credence with you whatsoever. So you have to create your own story. And unfortunately, what that means for you is you're going to have to perform what seems to be the most difficult of modern tasks. You're going to have to not take this to the toilet with you.